Hey, what's going on, Magic Lasso? What's going on? Just wanted to do something different today. I was keeping an eye on some key books through an auction house, and I figured there's not a lot of information out there. There hasn't been a lot of people that have done like, either like a basic introductory. Hey, what's going on, Ryan? So, just wanted to do something a little different. Like I said, there wasn't like a lot of information out there when I first started collecting comics on like how do you buy like a key book or a book that you wanted for your personal collection. Especially some of those like harder to find books that you couldn't regularly buy on like eBay, your LCS, you know, a regular like thrift shop, antique shop, etc. I know, for example, in your case, Ryan, you were looking for like a Sensation Comics. That was one of your like top grails for this year. And I know that it's not like every day that like a Sensation Comics book comes up for sale. So I wanted to do a little something different, just some like key pointers on what to do, what to look for, and just like how you purchase books on these sites. And looks like you mentioned, so last minute auction snipers, sometimes it's work, sometimes it's not. So yeah, so that's one of the pros to like eBay is you can do last second sniping, but sometimes those books may not show up on eBay. And in other cases, like if you're looking for that like Grail book, Sensation Comics #1, ultimate, Grail book for Wonder Woman, collectors, that book may never show up on eBay. And if it does, it's probably like a buy it now, right? And it's usually often overpriced. So you can't really get a true sense of how much that book goes for. And what's going on, Joe? How are you? And sometimes like those books don't show up on eBay. So you have to like go to like an auction house. Like one of the top auction houses out there are like Heritage, Comic Connect, and people who go there and put these books for sale, these are usually auctions. They're not buy it nows. So whatever they sell for it's what it sells for. There's usually no reserve. And I kind of wanted to show you kind of like some of the ins and outs. There's actually some live auctions going on right now in Heritage, and I kind of wanted to show you what's going out there, what's selling. Most of these are key books, hard to find because they're in super high grades. And sometimes because of those books, some of the lesser key books are kind of overlooked. So you can get these books for really good prices. So, I wanted to check these out. I had these tracked. I'm actually going to do a little share screen and open up, what do you call it? The web. And there we go. All right. So I'm on Heritage right now. Hopefully you guys can see this. All right, cool. So I'm on Heritage right now, and there's a live auction going on. And I highlighted, I want to say around like 20 books just to kind of see what they sell for. So some of the books I selected, let's see. So you got House of Secrets 92, as you know, is this the first Swamp Thing at a 7.5. So what this auction house usually does is they put a starting bid. It's usually $1, and then people can bid on it for usually it's a week, sometimes less, sometimes more, and then there's an expected end date. And then on here you talk about the current bid, next bid, etc., the lot number, the grade, what the activity is, and then you can go to, after that time is lapsed, you can go click on live, and it basically goes to the last section of the auction, and it'll show you
50 fair warning.
So
$65.
Oh, here you go. So here's a book right here.
$75.
So this is actually one of the books I was looking for. This is the first Cthon, Marvel Chillers #1, first Mordred.
$80.
So you can easily click on here and bid.
$85.
But you gotta be cautious of first off what the you can easily click on this and you become the high bidder. So this is what becomes tricky. So
$80. $120.
It's very easy to lose control of what's going on there. So I don't know if you guys saw that.
Fair warning.
So that was one of the. It just happened to be one of the books that I was selecting on my to watch list, and it just showed up randomly. And let me just check on the thing real quick. Hold on. So
fair warning.
It's pretty funny. So 3.6. What's 3.6 million? What's going on, Kevin? Let's just check up with the thing real quick. So you got Joey Bag of Sevens. What's going on, buddy? And
$65, $65, $75.
Let me just mute that real quick.
$85.
All right. So it's a pretty cool site. What you do is you go through the whole listing. There's usually a ton of lots. I think in this one there was like 450 books, not books, 450 lots up for sale. And there was some original art and I think some video games on there as well in this particular lot that ends as we speak. It's actually ending right now. So it's going through each book, every lot from what the highest bid was before I went to the actual hammer. And then it goes to basically whoever's there live. You can participate in the individual auction. If you placed a previously high bid, say on a book that was going for $40 and you had a high bid of $100, it'll keep on bidding as long as somebody else is bidding actively. Otherwise, you'll get it for say $50, $60, whatever that last high bid is. So it's pretty interesting. And but you have to, like, if it goes above that bid, you potentially lose out on that book. So you gotta be careful. I guess I go back on there and I'll show you some of the stuff that was in there.
Fair warning.
So there was a few books I was looking for. All right.
Fair warning. $200.
So let's see what's going on right now. So let's all right. So
fair warning. $220.
You can click on there. You can see the book.
Fair warning.
This is Marvel Presents Bloodstone #1. This is the first appearance of Bloodstone. And looks like it's, so current bid was $155. And that was before I went to the actual like hammer. So as you can see right now, it's going for what, $240?
$280.
So somebody just bid $260.
Fair warning.
So what I find helpful is you go on to Go Collect, because it kind of has like a recent what you should pay for it ideally. So Marvel Presents one.
$320.
So this is a recent selling, and it actually shows you on here that the book is sponsored on there, so it's on the live auction tonight. So FMV on that book was $170.
$300.
And I think it sold for well over. I think it sold for like $280. So in that case, it's like it went well over FMV. So it wasn't like a smart buy for whoever bought that, because you could have bought it for less.
Fair warning.
So what's going on here? It looks, oh snap! There you go. So you got a Marvel Spotlight. As you can see, it went by so quick. I guess nobody bet on that one.
Fair warning.
No, so you can't bet over by a penny. There is a certain increment depending on the current price of the book. I want to say If the book's at like $100, it probably asks you to do $10 increments. And then, but if it's like in the, under $100, they may do like $5, $10 increments. It depends. And this will differ, obviously, from auction site to auction site.
$480, $650.
So here's another key book. This is Carol Danvers' first appearance, Marvel Superheroes number 13. And it looks like the current bid, it closed at $650.
$240.
So I want to just jump out of here real quick into my, so this is, I'm logged in on my account, and you can view the 22 tracked items I selected. And these are just like random books I picked out. I wanted to see what they would, either go for or what potentially I wanted to buy. So here's a book that everyone's pretty familiar with. It's Thor 337. First appearance of Beta Ray Bill at a 9.6. So this was what? A lot number 370. I think, what are they on right now? So you still got a while until that book, because they're at 223 right now. But obviously this is another key book. So it's looks like what's at 180 right now. Sold for 180. Okay. So I selected a bunch of random books. Some of them were Golden Age. Some of them are, Silver Age keys, Bronze Age, whatever. This was obviously a key book, ASM 300, and it sold for $600. And what you have to do, because you're on an auction site, you pay 20%. So in this case, a person paid $120 plus the $600 for the auction house. So in this case, the total price was $720 for the ASM 9.6 300. And if you look up current prices on that book, I don't think that book goes for $720 out of 9.6. I could be wrong, but yeah, $650 ideally. So in that case, that person overpaid. Granted, he paid $600, which was under FMV, but it's not accounting for the auction house prices. And then you got to pay for shipping, which is usually $15 to $20. So in that case, it was not a good buy, if you know what I'm saying. So those are some of like the key pointers you want to kind of look for on this specific, when you're purchasing on an auction house. It's funny to see this guy. Oh man. So I want to see, have you guys ever purchased before on the on like an auction house? $120. Oh, okay. So you have $100 credit to Heritage, which you won but haven't used yet.
Fair warning.
Interesting. So how did you? All right. So how did you get the credit? Did you sell a book on there before? Did you purchase something and you got it returned? I've never had a credit on there before, so I don't know how that works.
Fair warning. $100 and $200.
Oh, cool. All right. So that's good for, I'm glad there's some people that haven't, done this before. So it's some good information for you guys. So like I said, I started using this, say like a couple of years ago, especially for those really hard to find books, or if you're looking for a specific grade and you don't want to particularly pay over a certain amount. These are where you can potentially get really good deals on auction houses versus like eBay or going to like an LCS, because sometimes you're never going to see these books at an LCS. You're probably never going to see some of these books at these grades for certain prices on a YouTube or Instagram auction.
Fair warning.
And this is where this can kind of benefit and come into your favor. Let's see. Sign up at a con and won. Confirm with them this year that it never expires. Oh, that's awesome. So, okay. I did. It was pretty funny. So I was looking through what they have because you can also look through future lots that are going to be showing. Oh, I just got alerted on something. What's going on here?
$16.
I don't know why I got alerted on this. This wasn't one. This wasn't one of the books I selected. That's pretty funny.
$20.
Almost information overload. All right. So let me see if I can. I know it is a lot of information.
$65 to $80.
I'm trying to like keep it slow and as much simple as I can because it's tough because like it's showing it live as it's going. What I recommend
Fair warning.
using this for the first time, going through an auction house,
90 to 95.
going through the lots, seeing what's coming up in future lots for sale. Oh, okay, cool. All right. All right, thanks. All right. And then, so that's usually how I break it down, is I'll go through the whole lot before the actual auctions are live, select the books that I either want to see what they go for or books that I want to potentially obtain. And
Fair warning.
I'll usually see what they're going for during the week through active bidding. And then I'll compare the prices to what they should be going for FMV wise, for fair market value, on Go Collect. And they usually kind of extrapolate a lot of the sales from eBay and other sites. And then I can use that technically to my
$60.
potential advantage, depending on the books. And like usually you'll see a lot of the common keys on there. You'll see you'll see a lot of ASM 300s. You'll see a lot of Secret Wars. You'll see a lot of the typical keys that you'll see, but then you'll also see a lot of like random books, random 9/8s.
Fair warning.
You'll see a lot of like Bronze Age, Silver, and then you'll see some really obscure Golden Age books that you
$65.
never see personally in hand. Maybe you will see sometimes in a Comic-Con or whatever,
Fair warning.
but you'll be actually able to like participate and purchase on some of these key books or hard to find books that you would potentially have never had the chance to on these sites. And what I found valuable is that sometimes some of these
$700.
books can be easily overlooked. Like, for example, this book that's up right now. It's a random book, Mystery Tales,
Fair warning.
book from the Golden Age, 1952. Yeah, it's selling for a lot of money, but in relative to what it is, that could have been like less than what it would normally go for, if that makes any sense.
Fair warning.
So it's definitely pretty cool to try these out. And it's, like I said, it's a little different than eBay where you can kind of snipe at the end. This one, it will continue to go up in increments, and then you'll see this make-believe guy over here will like do fair warning,
$60.
and then you can either bid the next price or you can just let it go if you think it's too much. And sometimes it has this little option here where you can do a cutoff bid, and then say if like the next increment was like $20 and you only wanted to do like bid an extra 10.
$30.
You can do that. It only allows you to do that once per lot, I believe. So, like I said, if you get a really pricey book that's going for like $500-600, and then the next increment's like $40, and you don't want to pay an extra $40 because it's going to affect your final purchase fee, you can sometimes hit that cut bid, and it'll let you do it. But then you'll notice, depending on the price, it's available over $370. So if the next bid hits, then you can do a cut bid. So there's some keys. There's some key pointers there you want to look for when you're doing stuff like this.
Fair warning.
Let's see what's going on here in the chat. So
$280.
this is obviously a first Deadpool at a 9.4. I think that usually goes for around like the $250, $300 mark. I want to see if there's any books coming up next. Excuse me. What lot are they in? They're in 244. Okay. So, which books do I have highlighted here? So, this book right here, obviously,
Fair warning.
Weird Science Fantasy, number 29. If you guys can see that. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. Let's take a quick look. All right. Let me see if you guys can see that real quick. What beer am I drinking? Good question. So this is, I want to say, this superhero IPA. I posted this on my Instagram a few days, I think it was last week. It's a beer out of Brooklyn Brewery in New York. I think it's Kings County Brewery or something like that. It's a superhero IPA. It's a lager. Sorry, did I say IPA? Sorry, I said lager. It's an IPA. It's an IPA. And it's actually really good. So if you check it out on my IG, yeah, I posted a picture of it. It's actually a really cool label as well. And very delicious. So let's take a look. All right. So this was the this was one of my 2020 gold books right here. This is Weird Science Fantasy number 29. And I think when I was looking for it, it was between a 4.0 and a 6.0 I was looking at. And you can see right now it's currently going for $360, and it tells you that the buyer's premium is $432. And I forget what this. I know the prices on this book is all over the place. It's because of the scarcity of the book. This book came out in 1955 or something like that. It's a classic Frank Frazetta cover, and that's why I wanted it. But as you can see, it's listed right here. It's sponsored on Heritage right here. But they say it's FMV is 400, which I know it's not right because these books sell for way more than that. And there's only like, 200 on the census. So it makes these books really hard to get in high grade. It's because of the cover. You can see it's the dark blacks and greens on this cover. It just makes it really hard. It's easily gets a lower grade because of that. So when you do get a really high grade in this book, you're spending well over $1,000 on it. So I'm going to watch this lot very carefully when it comes up for sale. And we'll see what it goes for. And if it goes for a decent price, I'm going to jump on it and pick it up because that is one of my 2020 gold books. So we'll see what it goes for when it hits the actual dock and see what the final bid goes for. Buyer's premiums. Good question. So buyer's premiums 20%. 20%. So that's why I always say it's good to know ahead of time what the FMV estimated, fair market price is for that book, because you're going to get dinged 20% on top of it. And that's what the house takes for selling the book on their site. Because you got to understand, Heritage is one of the largest auction houses in the world. So you get a ton of exposure. So they want to get a little piece of that pie, if you know what I'm saying. So they take 20%, and sometimes it goes into your favor, sometimes it don't. So it all depends on how many people are active on purchasing that book, and whether or not that's a book people want to get. So that's how you can sometimes get into into a good pricing. But I got a feeling it's probably going to go for way more than what I'm expecting, and I'm not going to be able to get that book. What's going on, geeks? I'm just doing some pointers on what you can do and what you can look for when purchasing books, key books, hard to find books in general on auction houses. So have you ever purchased a book before on an auction house? Let me know. Hang out and talk to you guys in the chat. So the seller doesn't have to pay to consign with them because Heritage gets their money from that buyer's premium from the bidder. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I have not sold books before on an auction house, so I don't know the finer bits of it from the selling standpoint. I just know from the buying standpoint, because I have bought books before on Heritage, and I bought books before on a local auction house. That there's actually a local auction house in Rhode Island, where I'm from, and I bought books from them early on during the early parts of the pandemic, and I was able to get, instead of paying 20%, they charged me 15% because they normally participate in in-house auction as well. So that's like an added bonus. So like if you live locally to that actual auction house, you can go inside and participate in the active bidding. So they give you a little paddle and all that cool stuff. So because of that, they give you a discounted purchase price. So that was pretty cool. I got it for 15%. I don't know if you guys remember seeing it from my live stream. It was the Silver Surfer #3, the first Mephisto, and then that Golden Age Thrilling Comics Alex Schomburg cover, that yellow cover. I bought those through that local auction house in Rhode Island. And I saved myself $20 on shipping, so I went there and picked it up myself. So that was pretty cool. So let's see what's going on live right now.
$750. $800.
So this is what, Planet Comics #31. It's a Golden Age book. And if you guys don't know Bub's Comics, he is a big fanatic of Planet Comics. He has like a ton of those books. So I think right now we're on like a big Planet Comics run right here.
$300.
So for you guys who love Golden Age, you can get Golden Age key books or Golden Age great art covers for really good prices on these auction houses, because a lot of people don't often buy some of these books. They want to get for the key iconic Silver Age, Bronze Age, some Golden Age books as well. So yeah, it's a cool cover. For, it's a little sci-fi cover there. You got this guy shooting some type of dinosaur and then a little damsel in distress. It's pretty cool. For people who like that, I dig it. I dig it.
Fair warning.
So yeah, I'm gonna hang out on here for a little bit and see what pops up, and see what comes up on here as well. If anyone wants to jump in on the live chat, let me know. I'll drop a link, and we can chat. Let me just see what's going on.
$32, $34, $36.
All right, let's take a look. No. Yeah, so let me know if you guys want to jump in as well. We can chat. We can talk comic books. We can talk a little bit about buying on auction sites. I'll drop the link real quick, and let me just send this real quick. So what books were I looking for? So the main books I was looking for, and I'll show that real quick. So there were a few books on here I was kind of like eyeing, and I'll put that share screen on real quick. Let me just add I'll add this to the actual live stream real quick. So if anybody wants to jump on, we can chat, we can talk about whatever. And I'll show you guys what I'm looking at for books as well. All right. All right, let me jump back on there, and I'll show you guys what I was looking at. All right. Let's see what's going live real quick. No longer available. What are you talking about? Throwing me some errors over here. All right. So let me go to the track. So it gives you your track lots.
$160.
All right. So
$170.
these were the books I was kind of eyeing.
$180.
You can see one of the books here. It already sold, was the Marvel Trillers #1. I was looking to get that book in a 9.4 for like around $60.
$170.
It's, if you don't know me, I like to collect a lot of like villains. I love villain covers. I like really cool just villains in general. I'm a big villain collector. And that was the first appearance of, I think, Cthon is how you pronounce it. And it's also the first appearance of Modred the Mystic. I believe Cthon is this guy right here. So I've been trying to pick up some of these, especially like characters who could potentially show up in like future movies down the road. I like to collect some of these cool villains. But so that was one of the books. It went too high, so I didn't end up going for it. So yeah, see, it sold for $100. It's not a $100 book. It's going for like around $65.
Fair warning.
Let me go back to the lot, just so you guys can see it a little bit bigger. So I wanted to pick up another Savage She-Hulk. You saw I have a 9.6 already. I wouldn't mind getting another one. This book right here, I do have a copy as well. It's the First Living Tribunal. I don't have it graded. I wanted to get like a mid-grade copy. This one's a little bit much higher. It's an 8.5. But it's you know, it's a decent price, $230. I believe it's like a $500 book. So that's interesting to see where it goes. Thor, can't go wrong with Beta Ray Bill. I love the character. So that's a good book. I talked a little bit about Alex Schomburg. Alex Schomburg is my favorite Golden Age artist. And he does a lot of different, you know, types of covers, from like World War II to like just random photo brushed covers like this. This is an airbrushed cover. And he's well known for these airbrush type of covers. You can actually zoom in on it and you can see the detail on it. It's a great yellow cover. It's a 10 center, obviously, because it's Golden Age. But look at that. It's just really cool. Really cool cover. But so that's some of the yeah, exactly, yeah. So
fair warning.
Thrilling Comics has always had great covers, and the cool thing is it spanned early on, like in the 30s to high 40s, were like the World War II type of covers, pretty graphic, you know, tanks, planes, shooting. It's really cool. And then the later on, it gets into more like the airbrushed covers, like the example I showed there. So that was really cool. Oh, Cajun Comics, what's going on? I don't think I've seen you before in the live chat. How are you?
$180.
Thanks for joining. Hey, Jaguar, what's going on? I just saw your video recently on Miles Morales. Nice video. Yeah, I can't believe what the prices are going for Ultimate Fallout #4 right now. It's just unbelievable. Not the time to buy that book, in my opinion. Definitely not the time to buy. Definitely wait. But let me know what you guys think about that book.
$60.
So let's see. Where are we? Shoot. I'm jumping around all over the place.
$70.
Where are we right now? Oh, Richie Rich. So this is pretty funny. So you can get this older like Silver Age book. Is sold for $70 because nobody really wants a book like Richie Rich, but it was a 98 70s book. Like some of these books are just like
$42.
You know, completely random. You know, Richie Rich, Billy Bellhops.
Fair warning.
It's a little funny covers, but you know, you can often get them for really cheap. This is like a perfect example.
$48.
You know, and it's a file copy. It's a file copy, so it's
fair warning.
It was stored a very long time in pristine condition. But yeah, it sold for 46 bucks.
$130.
These are good examples on how you can get some like random books that most people probably won't buy or won't want in their collection, but somebody, you know, caters to somebody's collection, but you can get for a really good price. Like this one, you got 4 9/8s that are going to sell for 130 bucks.
$50.
When are you going to get 4 9/8s for 130 bucks? Doesn't happen every day, and especially a book that's over 40 years old.
Fair warning.
So if you can find 4 9/8s from the 70s for 130 bucks,
$70.
props. But sometimes you get these deals all the time. What's going on here? I used to read Richie Rich growing up because I was poor. That's a good one. So
$90.
is it a long turnaround time after you win the auction? No, actually it's not. So what ends up happening after you purchase it, I think they give you, so you get it goes to an email confirmation saying that you won the lot, total price. It's going to say, you know, it's going to go to the account that you are signed on to, and it's going to charge the card that you have listed on the site. So before you actually get into the bidding portion where I was just on, you have to register with the actual auction house and register with the specific lot. And then say you win that lot, it goes to your inbox. You purchase it, you pay for shipping, which is usually, you know, 15 to 20 bucks, and they mail it within a week. So within a week you'll get the actual book, which is a really cool, really quick turnaround time. You know, they ship everything really nice. It's well packaged. It's always in priority. I believe it's priority, or similar to when you guys do like CGC. When they come back from CGC, they get this nice box. It's well packaged, it's well protected, and you get it back usually within the week. Hopefully that answers your question, Ryan.
$110. $130.
Does it tell you how many people are registered with a specific book? Yes. Not when you're actively bidding. It doesn't tell you. So I'm showing you right now. This is the active auction info.
$36.
All it tells you here,
$40.
it'll tell you here if it's an internet bid or if it's a bid through Heritage Live. So
$44.
somebody bidding, you know, through the actual web, like what we're doing, and then somebody will be bidding through the actual auction house. But it won't tell you when you're actually bidding live here how many people are bidding. But if you go back to the track lots where it says my bid / track lots, and you click on, say, any one of these books, say I was watching this book right here, which was
$160.
oh, actually this is not a good example, sorry, because the book already sold. Well, let me show you an example of the book that hasn't sold yet. So Savage She-Hulk #1 tells you right here lot number of bids. So there's been 7 active bids. What the current bid, so it's 140. So when it goes into the active bidding towards the end where we're just on that page, it's going to start at 140. If no one bids, once it goes to that section, the book sells for 140 plus the buyer's premium of 20%. So it'll start at that price once it gets into this section right here. Where is it?
$1,200.
So once it gets into this section right here with the active bidding, it'll start at 140, and then whatever it sells for, that's what the final price is.
$1,300.
All right, let me jump back on here. All right,
$55.
where are we at? The Shadow #1. Look at that.
Fair warning.
Is that Kirby? I don't remember what that is. Or is it Ditko?
$280.
Wow, I was way off.
$320.
Kaluta cover. All right.
Fair warning.
Apologize for that. My DC game is not strong. But I'm learning. I'm slowly learning.
$130.
I found some old Scalp Hunter issues and Unknown Soldier issues. I'm selling them. Okay, cool. Nice. I can't say I don't know anything about Scalp Hunter. I know a little bit about Unknown Soldier. I've seen some of the issues. Can't tell you anything about them, who wrote them, who did the cover arts. But definitely, you know, write it down in the chat. Let me know, because I want to learn as well too, you know.
$110.
This is just a big learning experience for everybody. So your total cost is final bid plus 20. Yes.
Fair warning.
So exactly. So you'll pay the final bid for sells for. Let me just go on here, because I have some that I've already sold, so I can show you some perfect examples.
Fair warning.
All right.
$120.
Here we go. So this book sold already. So this is ASM 300 at an 8.5. Sold for $384, and that's including the buyer's premium. If you wanted some more information on that, it tells you right there. Buyer's premiums added for each successful bid. For this sale, it's 20% of the successful bid, and the minimum on all purchases is $19. So if the book sold for $1, it's going to add a minimum of $19. But these books never sell for $1, as you can see. So in that case, this ASM 300, the book itself sold for $320. With the premium, it was $384. So you'll pay $384 plus, I think it's $15 for shipping. So it'll come down to what? $399. $399 for that specific book. So Geeks is asking, do you find better deals on here over eBay? So it's a good question. So I talked about that a little bit in the beginning. So it's yes and no. The pros versus the cons of using an auction house. So what you want to do, it depends on the book, honestly. If you're looking for specific key books, like in that example where I showed the ASM book, that ASM book, for example, everybody wants ASM 300. It's a book that everyone's searching for. It's very iconic. I used to own one. I owned the CGC 9.8 at one point, and I sold it. So in this case, perfect example, ASM 300 at a 9.6 is sold for $600 plus the premium, which so your total price was $720. I know for a fact on eBay you can purchase an ASM 300 9.6 for less than $720, and I can show you right off the bat. Let's put it to the test. Let's put it to the test. Oh, wrong book.
Fair warning.
This is the easiest way to tell. And we'll go by the recent sold items.
$650.
Okay. Maybe not. Hold up.
Fair warning.
Let's see. $720. All right. So this one sold for $720 on eBay. A recent one sold for $830. All right. So this is an example of where the auction house was cheaper than eBay.
$90.
Because you paid, this individual paid $720 plus $15 shipping, so $735.
$110.
This person paid $830 plus $15, so $845. And then you got to pay obviously your internet taxes for your state.
Fair warning.
So in this case, the auction house was cheaper. So there you go. That answers your question. So it depends on the book. There are instances where the auction house will be cheaper than purchasing on eBay. And for such an iconic book as ASM 300 is, I thought that eBay would have been, you know, potentially a little bit cheaper because there's so many of them out there. But it was actually the opposite, where the auction house was almost $100 cheaper. So that's pretty impressive. So there's definitely benefits to using the auction house over a site like eBay or I don't know what other sites you can easily go on and search. With eBay, there's a lot of people unfamiliar with bidding and will not know true value of books and get kind of overcharged. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, so like in that case, that ASM 300 was a good example. Whereas people, you know, don't necessarily gravitate towards these auction houses because they may not necessarily know that they exist. Everybody knows that eBay's around. eBay's been around for a very long time, and so has Heritage. Heritage has been around for a very long time. It's just not as known. eBay's more mainstream, so people tend to gravitate towards eBay. And yeah, you can sometimes overpay for these books. And like I said, in that case, it ended up being an extra $100 for that individual that paid for the eBay price versus the Heritage price. So there is some strategies behind that. All right.
Fair warning.
I'll drop the link in there again, just in case somebody wants to jump in and chat. I think I'm going to pretty much wrap this up pretty soon. And once that book comes up for sale, which is not going to be for a while, I want to say it's, where are we? So this is the book I was looking at, Golden Age 4.5. The lot number is 15409. Where are we right now?
$50.
Yeah, I still got like $100 books to go. Holy crap! I'm gonna be on it for a little bit. eBay is like Walmart mainstream. I want the first Cloak and Dagger. Yes, the book was just up. I think it just sold. I don't know what it sold for.
$55.
Where'd it go? What did it sell for?
$95.
9.8. Just sold for $360. I don't know if that's a good price or not, but
$110.
Seems expensive. I could be wrong.
Fair warning.
They won. So yeah, a 9.8 just sold for $360.
$42.
So I kind of want to look to see what the what that book goes for.
Fair warning. $46.
So Peter Parker, Spectacular Spider-Man, 66.
Fair warning. $50. $55. Fair warning.
Oh, what the frig? Full collect has to be
$150.
pain in the ass. No, it's not doing it.
$160. Fair warning.
Spider-Man. There we go. Jesus. Spectacular Spider-Man. Holy crap. That book's $500?
$609.
FMV's $500. That book sold for what, 300? Holy crap. Oh, there you go. Sold.
Fair warning.
That book sold for under FMV. There you go.
$750.
I'm looking for the original Ghost Rider set. So which are you talking about? Not the Golden Age. You're talking about the not the Golden Age Ghost Rider, right? You're talking about the one from Bronze Age. Marvel Spotlight number 5, I believe. Is that the one you're looking for? Or like the first run?
$65, $160, $170. Fair warning.
There's a cool DC book. Star Spangled War Stories. I talk about some Bronze Age DC goodness. I do like these Star Spangled War Stories. Actually, that was was that the first Unknown Soldier that just popped up, actually? I think I just passed it right by.
Fair warning.
Okay, so yeah, the Bronze Age. So you're looking for Marvel Spotlight number 5? That's that book's starting to get a little pricey. If anything, I'd probably start looking for it now because I think it's going to continue to go up in value. If that's the book you're looking for. Let me see what's going on over here.
$360. Fair warning.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely has. It's definitely been going up in value. And there's been a lot of speculation on that, whether that character shows up in either a Disney Plus show, whether it actually eventually shows up in the MCU. I have no clue. I don't know. I don't have any insight on that. I actually enjoyed the Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider that showed up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I thought that was a pretty good portrayal of the character, and a pretty good actor too that played the character. But I don't know if that character is actually going to show up on the in the MCU anytime soon. What's showing up now? It's an old book, pre-code horror.
$85.
You know, Mark Spector loves pre-code horror.
Fair warning.
This is how you can get in trouble when you're in these auction houses. You see these random books pop up, and you're easily tempted to buy them. And you gotta have a little bit of discipline when it comes to these auction houses, because you can easily hit that bid button and you can get yourself into trouble. And it's like you hit it by accident. It's like, oh crap. You hope somebody overbids so you don't have to get stuck with it, you know. But that's can get pretty dangerous. One announcement and the floodgates will open. Yes, absolutely.
$240.
And you don't want to put yourself in that predicament when trying to say this right. So you don't want to put yourself in a predicament when you get that announcement and all of a sudden the prices just skyrocket, and then you're like, you're stuck, because then that book that you wanted to pay for in a certain grade, you had a certain budget for, all of a sudden is like 2 grades lower now.
$100.
So it's like, if it's a book you want, you know, go for it. You know, make some goals to try to get that book and make it happen. Yeah, Joey's buy it. Oh man, this better be good. What's going on, Agu? So I'm just talking a little bit about like they're just putting out some pointers on how to buy books on auction houses. Let me know if you ever bought a book before on an auction house like Heritage, Comic Connect, Comic Link, Christie's. There's so many of them out there.
$420.
I'm just using Heritage Auctions as an example because it's going on live right now, and I had a few books that I was looking at. Oh, actually, this is one of the books right here.
$60.
Was Doctor Strange, number 158.
Fair
Living Tribunal's first full appearance.
$480.
See, this is getting too expensive.
Fair warning.
At $400, it was probably a good price. At this current price, you're going to pay almost $600. That's too much.
Fair warning, $550.
Yeah. Sometimes if the price isn't right, you don't hit the bid
Fair
button.
warning,
There's always next time.
$600.
Tried Comic Lane, but always lose.
Fair warning.
It does happen, you know. And sometimes it's better to lose than pay a price that you weren't comfortable with paying. That's what I always say. It's easy to hit the bid button on these things, but it's like you want to be comfortable and you want to be happy with the final purchase price. Because you definitely don't want to overpay and you don't want to overspend on a book, because then you don't want to feel bad about the purchase. You want to feel like it was a good purchase. You felt comfortable with it. And, at the end of the day, it was just bid $1. Sometimes you win. The price is right. Any Detective 400. I want to say, I think I saw Detective 400. I don't know if it was on here or if it was
$460.
Give me a second. I'm trying to think real quick. There was a Detective 400. I don't know if it was on a future lot or if it was on a different auction site. I did see a Detective 400, a 405, and I think a 411 going up for sale. I don't know. I don't think it was in this current auction right now. I'll have to let you know if I do see it.
$14, $24.
There you go. It's a cheap book right here. I don't know anything about this book. Hey, there's a slab book about to sell for $24. And what they do here on the left is they kind of give you the grade and what the price guide is according to Overstreet, and they tell you whether or not there's any other books in a higher grade too, which is also pretty helpful. If you didn't know, if like you didn't have any other websites to reference right off the bat, you can kind of look at that as well.
$360. Fair warning.
So that's actually a pretty good reference guide right there. You can quickly look at as the books are going through. So like if you don't have like Go Collect Up and you're not going through each book, you can kind of see that in a nutshell. If there's any other books in higher grade, what an estimated price is. If you didn't know what a 6.0 is, it tells you right there. A 6.0 or a 6.5 is a fine plus. So here's a cool book, First Black Widow. It's an expensive book.
Fair warning.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, I'll go give it a try. It doesn't hurt to just go on there and see what certain books go for, just to kind of get a feel for it. And then if you do go ahead and go forward with it, registering it, making an account, and seeing what happens, with certain books, if you could track certain books and then go from there and see whether or not it works out for you for the specific book. But let me see. All right, good. So yeah, it's definitely worth trying out. And I'm not saying go to Heritage specifically. They're not paying me to do this. This is not advertising. This just happens to be the site I'm looking at right now for active books, because I have these books tracked for to see whether or not I can get them at a good price. Try out multiple sites. Heritage, Comic Connect, Comic Link. There's many of them. You can definitely go on there, do some research. I want to say there's at least 10 big ones out there. Dig Auctions, DIG Auctions is another good one. Berg family is in the house. What is going on, Steve? How are you, buddy? Can you get a wrench? I can throw a wrench at you.
Fair warning.
I can throw a wrench at you.
$75. $120.
Let me see. I can definitely add you on here somehow. I don't know how to do it. Can I do it from
$130.
offer up only a few bites?
Fair warning.
Let's see. Do it. Break that.
$50.
I think I can do it. Let me just check on YouTube. I think I can do it because I'm not on YouTube. I'm just on StreamYard. Let me just go on here real quick. I can do it.
$800.
Boom. There you go,
Fair
buddy.
warning.
And while we're at it,
$130.
yeah, make sure you guys
$150.
hit that thumb, you know. That helps with the algorithm. Supposedly, I have no clue whether it helps out or not. But if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It helps me out. I'm almost at 400 subscribers. And then once I get to 400, I can slowly do a road to 500 so I can do another cool giveaway. Let me add a few more people. Who wants wrenches? I'll add some wrenches on here.
Fair warning.
Now that I figured out how to do it. If you can dodge a wrench, you can, you can dodge anything. Oh, shit. Let's see.
$160.
Let's give Magic Lasso a wrench.
$170.
Let's give Agu a wrench.
Fair warning.
All right. Anyone else want a wrench? Let me know. I'll add you guys as well. You know, we're all cool peeps in here. All right. So, no problem. And if anybody wants to jump in on the live stream, let me know. We're just chatting, just going. I'm pretty much wrapped up on pointers on how to bid, how to look for books on auction houses. If you guys have any information, let me know. I can definitely, any extra information is helpful, obviously. Wrench me. Who wants to be? Oh, all right, Jaguar. Let's wrench you, brother. There you go, buddy. So yeah, if anybody wants to jump on, let me know. If not, I'll probably just finish this up. And I kind of just wanted to finish this up. I just kind of wanted to do this. Just, you know, there isn't a lot of people out there that have done videos on how to do auction houses and stuff like that. So I thought it would be pretty informative for people who want to like get an alternative method to buying key books, or not key books, or hard to find books in general. And hopefully that helped you guys out. And for anybody who watches this on the rewinds, definitely feel free to check this out as well. Joe, did I add you, Joe?
$80.
No, I did not. All right, let me add you. There you go, buddy.
Fair warning.
All set, Joe.
$90.
Joey.
Fair
There
warning.
you go. All right.
$80.
There you go.
$100.
Everybody get wrenches. Yes, Burke, you're almost at 1,000, man. You're getting there. You're getting there real quick. Getting there real quick.
$85.
One day I'll get there, but I'm in no rush. I'm having a good time. All right. So
$120.
if nobody wants to jump on,
$130.
I think I'll wrap up, and I'm gonna go get me a beer.
Fair warning.
Just to refill up, make sure the little guy's back down. And I'm probably going to go back on just because I wanted to show some recent pickups from New Comic Book Day. Not new comic books, but, you know, some recent pickups. A contest winning, so I got a slab to show. And then I'll be closely monitoring the, obviously, the live auction to see if I can get that book at a good price. So I'm going to end this broadcast and I'll be back in a few minutes. All right, guys? All right. Peace out.
$100. $120.